So first of all, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to sit with us exclusively.
Thank you.
And I also wanted to congratulate you on the award you received at the Cannes Film Festival. That's a really good thing. And were you expecting that those positive critics that you received?
No, I wasn't expecting it. It was before I made Rams. I had never made so successful movie, so I was really happy to get into Cannes to be selected. But when you won this prize, it was, of course, quite an experience, and it has been a big roller coaster ride. The film has been. I've been living in a suitcase and traveling a lot in the film, and everywhere I go, I get some very good feedback, and it's a pleasure.
And what inspired you for this movie? Like, I know that it's about brotherhood, it's about disease, it's about there's a lot of different representations. So what was your inspiration for this movie?
Yes, I have some roots in the countryside. My parents, they grew up on a farm, and when I was a child, I spent some time on my grandfather's farm, and so I'm familiar with this sheep farming culture, and I wanted to make like a honest film about sheep farmers. Many sheep farmers in Iceland, they have a sort of very they have a lot of passion for this animal, and I think it's maybe a little bit they have a special connection with the sheep. And the main story about the broader conflict is based on a real story. There were two brothers who didn't speak for 40 years, but they lived on the same land, and they built two houses, and there was no windows on the walls between the houses. And I thought that the story was kind of interesting and kind of tragicomical, has some tragicomical element. The film is like a drama with a lot of sort of black humor, and so I kind of put this together, and Rams was the outcome.
And what was the most challenging thing for you to shoot that movie and the shooting? Like, what was the most challenging thing to overcome?
It was a big challenge to film with all sheep, because we have a lot of animals in film, and I had never worked with animals before. But we were very lucky that we found a great sheep, a super calm sheep who did everything we wanted them to do. Of course, sheep, they can be unpredictable, and sometimes they run away from us and we have to find them. But generally they were doing a good job, and that was a big challenge. And also there's a snowstorm in the film, and quite a long sequence with the snowstorm, and it was for me it's like a sort of directing like action, like an action film, and that was like a new experience for me, because I come from a documentary background and not used to film film a snowstorm in complicated situations.
And what do you think about nature? Because nature is becoming a trend at the moment. We've seen it in many Hollywood movies. We've seen it in The Revenant. I've seen that Game of Thrones is shooting in Iceland. Even Justin Bieber shot his video in Iceland. Like, nature is becoming a real trend in movies now. So what do you think about that? Were you inspired by that, or?
I mean, we have a lot of nature in our film, but in Rams, the nature is just there, and we're always like following the character. So there is always something. We always like there's some scenes like in the Rams. There's we're not showing nature just to show nature, but they're like a part of the lives of the farmers. And in Iceland we have a lot of beautiful nature, but the reason we shot the location we decided to shoot the film was not we're not trying to find the most beautiful nature. We try to find the best sort of location for the story. But Iceland has been recently a very popular shooting place. A lot of Hollywood movies are coming to Iceland. We give like a 20% sort of refund of all this expenditure.
And do you think that it's helping the Icelandic movie industry to grow and to be more international? The fact that all those movie makers.
Yeah, it creates jobs, you know, it keeps people working, and the Icelandic film industry is not so big, so we don't make so many movies, so it's very good to get, it makes it more international and more sort of professional. People who are technicians, cinematographers, sound engineers, they get jobs. Which I benefit from that. When I'm making my film, I have a lot of skilled, sort of experienced people to work on my films.
And what's next for you now?
Well, I'm working on a new script, which is like a bit similar like Rans, but it's like a lesbian film set in a kind of a rural area. It's called The County, and I'm gonna try to shoot it next year. But I spend most of my time following Rams to festivals and traveling. I'm living in a suitcase.
And do you have any like film that you think should win the best in Oscar this year? Like
English film or
like the best movie in the best movie categories? Like,
I think
which film do you think is going to win or should win?
Well, I haven't seen them all, but Spotlight is my favorite film I've seen so far. It's a very interesting story and very well-made film. I think it deserves to get an Oscar.
Alright, okay. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us, and good luck with your next movie and everything that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.